Hello and welcome back to eFab Expo. My name is Kevin Kilgallen. We've been having a great day on day 3 of our trade show. I hope you guys aren't as exhausted as I am from walking these aisles constantly. But our goal continues to be to give you new ideas. And next up is going to be TigerStop. And TigerStop is another American company that is helping manufacturing get stronger every day. Elizabeth and Mike are going to help us learn a little bit more about reducing setup time, doing some automated sawing. And so at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Elizabeth and Mike. So enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. We are very excited to be at eFab Expo 2020. Again, my name is Elizabeth Dick. I am TigerStop's Director of Sales and Marketing. And I have with me today Mike Anderson, TigerStop's Director of Saw Systems and Service.
Good morning, all.
Good morning. So for those of you who are joining and are not familiar with TigerStop, we actually began in a garage in 1994 as a very basic solution to tape measure inaccuracies and material waste. And today, almost 26 years later, we are the global leaders in automated material positioners, pushers, and fully automatic optimizing saw systems. Our mission statement is to empower local manufacturers to be globally competitive. Basically, we want to help manufacturers reduce waste in all of their processes so they can add dollars back to their bottom line, which means that they can compete on a global scale. And manufacturing is so important for us because every single job created in manufacturing actually creates 3 to 5 additional jobs. And that's because manufacturing touches so many sectors and so many industries. So what we do is we don't just sell machinery and engineer machinery. What we do is we're helping create sustainable local manufacturing businesses that can then in turn create and support sustainable local communities around those. So why don't we just take a quick minute here and watch our mission video. Kevin, if you could help us turn that on, that would be great.
Very simple mission with TigerStop. We want to make local manufacturers competitive in global markets.
All right, thank you. So today we're actually going to be showing you guys 3 different machinery demonstrations. The first is going to be our brand new TigerSaw Miter XL. We'll then be showing you TigerSaw 2000, and then we were going to be concluding with our flagship product called a TigerStop. So why don't we just jump right on into it? Mike, can you take it away?
Great. So as Liz mentioned, what we're going to do is start out with our brand new TigerSaw Miter XL. The video I've got to show you will show the Miter XL cutting wood parts. However, the saw can be configured for non-ferrous metals such as aluminum extrusions, as well as fiberglass and composites. So let's go ahead and start off by starting the video. So with the Miter XL, the operator will first either enter or download a cut list with the angles and quantities of the parts required. He'll then hit the start button. It will ask for the material length going in as well as the width, so it can accurately calculate the angles. At this point, the machine is going to push feed the material into the saw. The angle will automatically adjust, and the first cut's made. You'll also notice that every time the angle automatically adjusts or we are push feeding the material into the saw, we've got an automatic front fence that comes in and captures those cut pieces. This is the magic that makes push feeding or automating a miter saw possible. If you've got angled cuts, when you try and push feed those angled cuts, they'll want to ride up on each other and they'll end up with rotating the angle on the table. They're going to end up pulling the material away from the fence, so on and so forth. Here's a top view from our saw window, and you can see the table automatically adjusting, the front fence coming in during that adjustment, as well as advancing the material. So a completely automated solution. TigerStop Miter XL is a unique fully automatic saw system for miter cutting, with length accuracy of plus or minus 12 thousandths of an inch and angle cutting accuracy of plus or minus a tenth of a degree. TigerStop Miter XL can cut angles anywhere from plus 45 degrees to minus 45 degrees and anywhere in between. Angles on individual parts with quantities needed are defined in the cut bill, and the saw just produces them. Cut bills can be entered manually, or they can be downloaded from your ERP system, so we can fully automate that. TigerStop Miter XL comes with a large 610 millimeter or 24-inch saw blade, and can be configured to cut material all the way up to 7-inch by 7-inch cross sections. It can be configured to process non-ferrous materials such as aluminum extrusions, as well as wood, like you saw in the video, even fiberglass and composites. When cutting non-ferrous materials, the TigerStop miter comes standard with our Unis spray mist that puts a fine mist on the tooling right before the cut and achieves longer tooling life and a superior cut. The Miter XL comes complete with length optimizing, as well as what we've termed miter process optimizing. So yes, we can nest your parts into the length of raw material, but we can also take apart, let's say I'm cutting two 45s, and instead of cutting two 45s with a wedge-shaped piece in the middle, I can actually flip one of those pieces and cut one 45. That's right, cut one 45 and reduce the process time. So it's got the ability to actually flip that piece internally and only make one cut instead of two with a pie-shaped waste piece in the middle. All TigerStop products come with complete with full reporting and simulation tools. This allows you to know what your material yields will be before actually cutting the material. And that's our brand new TigerStop Miter XL. It does come in two flavors. What you saw there in the video is our XL product, which is the 610 millimeter saw blade, but we've also got the TigerStop Miter Standard, which is our 508 millimeter. So just depending on what your profile sizes are that you need to have cut, will determine which saw you would need. So at this point, I'd like to open it up for any questions on the TigerStop miter.
All right, well, it does look like we have some questions that have come in. The first one it looks like is, what range of miter angles can the saw cut?
So Liz, that's a great question. In order to answer that, first we have to understand how are we measuring the angle. So we measure the angle, if this is my back fence and this is my saw blade at a 90-degree cut, we can cut plus 45 all the way to minus 45 from 90 degrees. Very
good. It looks like the next question that has come in, one moment. Can the TigerStop Miter XL nest material?
Great question. So as I was talking about, yes, we can nest your parts in the length. So you're basically going to define in your cut bill the length of the parts that you need and then the angles on each end that you need. And then we can nest those parts into the available material going into the saw. But then, as I mentioned, we can also flip parts internally and actually optimize the process of cutting. So rather than making 2 cuts, we can do it in many cases with just 1.
Wow. And that would be like a significant scrap waste kind of saving, rather than having those big pie-shaped waste pieces.
Yeah, not only scrap waste, certainly it's going to save on your material, but also processing time. So how much material can I get through the machine in a given period?
Right. Because I guess you mentioned previously, in order for most people who don't have automation involved to cut these miter pieces, they have to manually pick them up and flip them.
Well, if they can think about that, if they can think, all right, hey, I can flip this, make 1 cut, not to mention, how do you nest those pieces in? I mean, mathematically, on a manual miter operation, this becomes very difficult. On top of, if I've got non-organic angles, if you will, very specialized, specific angles, doing those calculations and getting those parts right the first time is a challenge.
I can imagine. So it looks like the next question that has come in is, what is the maximum weight capacity that the Miter XL can handle?
Great question. So what you saw in the video was our Miter XL with our standard TigerStop. And the standard TigerStop is capable of pushing up to 120 pounds. We could also configure this with our turbo. And the turbo, you would be able to push in excess of 375 pounds.
Wow. Very good. All right. Well, that looks like the conclusion for questions at this time. I guess if any questions do come in, we can also handle them at the very end as well. So for viewers out there, keep them coming. If you think of something, let us know. So now, why don't we just hop right on into the TigerSaw 2000? And so what that is, it's essentially our fully automatic saw system for non-ferrous metals for processing straight cuts. It's really good for cutting aluminum, for copper, and I think the best way for us to kind of show you is through our video. So if we could watch the 2000 video now, that would be great.
Introducing the TigerSaw 2000, the perfect automated saw station for cutting non-ferrous metals like aluminum. It will increase yields, accuracy, and productivity at the best value point in the industry. The TigerSaw 2000 will increase productivity by automating your cutoff process. No more setting stops manually. Simply enter or download your cut list and place material on the infeed. TigerSaw 2000 will automatically push it into the saw, making all the cuts in your list. This saves on labor and reduces errors with a repeatable accuracy of plus or minus 12 thousandths of an inch. The TigerSaw 2000 comes with our proprietary dynamic optimization software that achieves maximum yield by nesting parts. That means it compares your cut list to the material length to determine which parts to cut in which order to give you the least amount of waste. You can also upgrade with our optional crayon defect marking. Simply mark the beginning and end of defects on your material. The TigerSaw 2000 will scan the material length and the crayon marks. It will then cut around the defects and optimize all the material in between so you get the best yield. In metal fabrication, cut quality is critical. Heat generated at the teeth of the saw blade can damage the blade and yield poor cut quality. To counteract this heat, most saw systems put lubricant all over the blade, hoping some gets to the cutting point. The TigerSaw 2000 has an exclusive patent-pending lube mist system, which moves with the blade, delivering lubrication right at the cutting point. This gives you an amazingly smooth and powerful cut, but also extends blade life and generates dry chips, so there's no messy cleanup or swarf. TigerSaw 2000 has an adjustable cutting envelope which allows for a wide variety of profiles, from bundles to single pieces. It can be fitted with a variety of blade sizes, including a 350mm, 450mm, or 500mm blade. And the saw arbor can be adjusted forward and backward to give you the optimal envelope for your material. Like all TigerStop products, the TigerSaw 2000 is designed so an employee can be easily trained. It's easy to install and maintain and comes with a ton of built-in safety features. Every TigerSaw 2000 is custom built to fit your needs. Configure your machine with the right pusher for your material. From the TigerStop for lighter material to the heavy-duty 2 that can handle up to 2,100 pounds with roller tables. Available options include horizontal and vertical pneumatic clamping to allow proper clamping of most profiles. Non-marring surfaces to prevent damage to fragile or sensitive materials. Inkjet printing on each finished piece, which allows you to batch jobs of the same profile and easily sort the parts on the back end. There's even an optional touchscreen tablet package, TigerTouch, which means operators can put away crammed clipboards and manage everything from a Surface Pro. The TigerSaw 2000 is the perfect automated saw station for non-ferrous metals. Packed with automated features for increasing productivity, yield, and accuracy, the TigerSaw 2000 will increase output without additional labor. If you're ready to step up in automating your cutoff process, then find out more about the TigerSaw 2000. Download the brochure or contact a systems specialist by calling us at 360-254-0661.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our video. So I just want to recap a few things in case you guys were so mesmerized by the video that you didn't quite fully understand all of the great features and benefits. So essentially, the operator can enter the cut list either manually or they can download cut lists. And so that alone saves a lot of time. Once the cut list is prepped, as you saw, the material is automatically fed through the saw system. And you saw also that there is inkjet printing or label printing. So what's really great is that after every cut, a label is printed and you can have up to 5 fields of data. So you could have quantity, length, job number. And what this does is it makes sorting so easy on the back end, just because everything is neat and clean and tidy and organized. The TigerStop 2000 has a cutting accuracy of 0.12 of an inch, and it can have capacities of up to 6 by 6 inches for cutting aluminum extrusions, for example. The other cool feature is that you can have it set up to do single piece flow or cutting one piece at a time, or you can configure your 2000 to do bundle cutting, so multiple pieces of like material. It has an adjustable cutting envelope. So that means you can have a 350mm, 450 or 500mm saw blade. So it's a very flexible machine depending on what your application is. And it has a really cool, TigerStop has a really cool patent out, and it has to do with the lube mist system that's on the TigerStop 2000. And as you saw, the lubrication, it moves with the blade so that it's delivering all of that lubrication at the cutting point. What this does is that it helps you have a much longer tool life, and it also really helps with the cut quality. So the 2000 has pretty incredible cut quality. One of the other really great features that you noticed is that the saw is completely enclosed. So when a saw is in operation, you literally cannot access the blade while it's moving. So just rest assured, everybody out there. Another good feature is that every TigerStop 2000 comes with a variable frequency drive so that the RPM can be adjusted for all of the different tooling and application needs. All right, I think you guys have heard way too much from me at this point. So why don't I turn it over? Mike, we're going to ask you some questions now.
Okay.
So let's see what's coming through here. They don't want to hear me anymore. What material can I cut with the TigerStop 2000?
Great question. So TigerStop 2000 was designed from the ground up as a non-ferrous metal machine. However, we can cut obviously aluminum, copper, any non-ferrous metals, but we can also cut and have cut in several applications, fiberglass, plastic. If you turn off the spray mist, you can even cut wood, so on and so forth. So it's very flexible.
Wrong audience, Mike.
Yeah, definitely the wrong
All
audience.
our fabricators out there.
but
no,
for
that
example,
is a great point.
We do have customers that primarily cut aluminum, but they also cut some wood for crating material,
Right.
for example. So it is a very flexible machine. Yeah.
That's great. And so another question that came through is, what is the maximum weight that the TigerStop can handle?
Again, great question. With our standard TigerStop, we can push up to 120 pounds. As I mentioned before, the turbo, I think I mentioned 375. That was actually incorrect. We can do 375 on solid tables, but if we put roller tables, it's more like 750 pounds. And then we can go all the way up to our heavy duty and push material up to 2,100 pounds. And we don't sell a lot of the heavy duties in this type of an application, but we do have quite a few customers. You mentioned the cutting envelope of 6x6. We do have quite a few customers that are cutting aluminum billet 6x6. So that's some pretty heavy stuff if you get into the 20-foot range. So yeah, no problem.
Very good. So it seems like a flexible machine for a lot of different applications and manufacturing industries. Well, I don't see any questions. I think people are being shy out there. So guys, again, please feel free to ask questions. If you have any, send those in. But for now, I think let's just turn it over and go straight into the TigerStop demo. So what we're going to show you, not yet, but I'm going to explain a little bit first, is our TigerStop. So if you're not familiar with the TigerStop, you should be kind of now, because you've actually seen it twice in action on our fully automated saw systems. What the TigerStop is essentially, it's just an automated pusher positioner that can integrate with your existing tools. And that's the key there. So if you already have a cold saw, if you have a drill, an iron worker, punch, shear press, bandsaw, you can integrate a TigerStop to help you with your accuracy and your material positioning. And what it does, it just completely eliminates the need to measure and mark any material, which, I mean, just not using a tape measure alone saves a lot of time in terms of walking, pulling the part out, pulling the tape out, measuring. So if you stay in what we like to call the money-making zone, if you're by the tool and you're cutting with your TigerStop and you're not moving around, that's where you're making money, processing parts. So that's the idea there. It's accurate to 4/1000 of an inch. And again, it's saves so much time. You don't have to adjust a manual gauge or fence ever again. And so accuracy is only a small portion of what TigerStops do. A couple of the other really big benefits that people don't really think about are the fact that you can download cut lists to your TigerStop. So that saves a ton of time, as well as you can upgrade a TigerStop to have our nesting software called dynamic optimization. So that really helps reduce scrap waste and increase throughput and yield. So aside from all of those, what we do really, really well is turning kind of the manual machine that you have into the fully automated machine that you want. We have a lot of flexibility automating tools that you already own, and this is a very, very cost-effective way to get a fully automatic saw. Mike, plug your ears. So you can essentially take any pneumatically or hydraulically actuated saw or fabrication tool, and you can attach a TigerStop and our advanced interconnect kit and have a hands-free, fully automatic operation very, very affordably. So let's just watch this quick video. It's 30 seconds, so you're gonna have to pay attention just to show you what a fully automatic TigerStop setup looks like on a cold saw. So let's play that video now. Thank you.
All right, well, Elizabeth and Mike, that is actually, unfortunately, all the time we have today. We are running up against our other expos, but we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us here. Excellent presentation, and I'm sure our customers just really enjoyed learning all about TigerStop.
Appreciate everybody taking the time.
You're welcome. And for everyone out there who's tuning in, we will be heading over to the ARCU booth. So join us over there at 2 o'clock. Anything, questions that we didn't get to, we will get over to the experts at TigerStop, and they'll field those and get you the information you need. So again, really appreciate everyone tuning in. And Elizabeth, Mike, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Bye.